The word discipline often carries a heavy weight. We associate it with struggle, denial, sacrifice, and the grinding effort of doing what we least want to do. We see it as the opposite of freedom, believing that to be disciplined is to be imprisoned by a restrictive set of rules. This perspective is fundamentally flawed, and it is precisely why so many attempts at self-improvement fail. The truth is, genuine discipline is the very mechanism of freedom. It is not the act of fighting against yourself. It is the art of designing your environment and your choices so that the desired outcome becomes the path of least resistance. It is the joy of knowing that your actions are aligned with your highest ambitions. Discipline, properly understood, is not a punishment. It is a sophisticated form of self-love. It is time to shift our perspective and learn how to become, quite literally, addicted to this newfound sense of control and accomplishment. The first and most critical step is a cognitive reframing. Stop relying on fleeting motivation or willpower. Motivation is a starter pistol. A system is the entire racetrack. Willpower is a finite resource, depleting with every decision you make throughout the day. A robust system, however, runs on autopilot. Consider the common cycle of relying on willpower. You wake up feeling energetic, successfully resist temptation for a few hours, but by late afternoon, your mental reserves are exhausted. This state, known as ego depletion, means you are biologically less capable of resisting the next temptation. Discipline that relies on effort is designed to fail. True discipline is the creation of a structural framework that defaults you into success. Instead of fighting the urge to snack, remove all unhealthy snacks from your home. Instead of waking up and debating whether to exercise, lay your workout clothes beside your bed and schedule your workout immediately upon rising. You are not relying on strength. You are relying on structure. Your goal is to make success easier to choose than failure. This involves recognizing the difference between friction and force. Willpower is force. It requires energy. System design is friction control. If your goal is to practice the piano, reducing friction means ensuring the piano bench is set, the sheet music is open, and the room is quiet. If your goal is to stop excessive gaming, increasing friction means putting the console controller in a difficult-to-reach cupboard or asking a family member to hold the charging cable. The less effort required for the good habit and the more effort required for the bad one, the more naturally disciplined you become. Step 2. Architect the environment of least resistance. Our environment is the single biggest predictor of our habits. We are constantly responding to cues and triggers. To cultivate discipline, we must strategically engineer our surroundings to cue positive behaviors and block negative ones. The physical space you occupy must serve your desired identity. If you identify as a reader, your environment should reflect that. Are there piles of books everywhere, or is your reading chair inviting and well lit? If you identify as a focused professional, your workspace must be streamlined. Consider the cues for procrastination: a phone on the desk, an open browser tab, the distant glow of a television. Now, eliminate them. Place your phone in another room while working. Block distracting websites for predetermined periods. Conversely, highlight the cues for positive action. Keep a book open to the page you intend to read. Place your guitar where you have to walk past it, or keep a water bottle visible at all times. A powerful technique here is what is known as temptation bundling. This means pairing an action you should do with an action you want to do. For instance, if you hate folding laundry, should do, but love listening to a specific podcast, want to do, you only allow yourself to listen to that podcast while you're folding laundry. This turns a dreaded chore into a necessary precursor for an enjoyable reward, effectively making the act of discipline more appealing. By making the desired action visually accessible and the distracting action invisible, and by bundling the boring with the desirable, you remove the need for decision making. You are not battling a craving, you are simply following the path your environment has already laid out for you. Step 3. Embrace the micro-win, the power of incomplete tasks. To build an addiction to discipline, you must make the early stages feel pleasurable, even trivial. This is where the concept of the micro-win comes in. Never start a new habit at full capacity. If you want to run 5 kilometers, do not attempt it on day 1. Instead, commit to running for 5 minutes. The goal of the early stage is not production, it is consistency. Your aim is to simply show up and create a chain of successful days, no matter how small the action. This is called the 2-minute rule. Every new habit should be started in a way that takes less than 2 minutes to complete. The real power is in the initiation, not the execution. Once you start, momentum often takes over. By completing a tiny, easy task, writing 1 sentence, doing 1 push-up, meditating for 60 seconds, you trigger the brain's reward center. You release dopamine, the neurochemical associated with pleasure in learning. This causative reinforcement loop reinforces the behavior. Your brain begins to associate the disciplined act with the feeling of competence and progress. The addiction is not to the effort, but to the feeling of competence and progress. If you miss a day, the rule is simple: never miss twice. The first slip is an accident. The second slip is the beginning of a new negative habit. The disciplined individual understands that one poor choice does not ruin the system, provided they get immediately back on track. This non-judgmental return to consistency is a hallmark of truly effective self-control. Step 4. Leverage habit stacking for seamless integration. Habit stacking is the process of attaching a new desired habit to an existing, already cemented habit. It leverages the momentum you already have. Use the formula: after I pour my morning coffee, I will write down the 3 most important tasks for the day. Or, after I close my laptop at the end of the workday, I will stretch for 5 minutes. You can also use this for complex mental tasks. If you are prone to emotional reactivity, you might use the stack: after I receive a frustrating email, I will take 3 deep breaths before replying. The existing habit, checking email, acts as a powerful and unavoidable cue for the new positive habit, controlled breathing. This technique eliminates the friction of initiation. The cue for the new behavior is not an external trigger or a conscious decision, but the natural end of a routine you already perform without thinking. It turns a conscious effort into an unconscious flow. The most disciplined individuals are not those who work hardest, but those who have the most effective and seamless stacks running in the background of their lives. Step 5. Prioritize planning over performance. The greatest destroyer of discipline is decision fatigue, often referred to as the difference of thinking. Every time you have to decide what to do, when to do it, or how to do it, you use up mental energy that could have been spent on the task itself. Imagine 2 students. One wakes up and spends 30 minutes deciding whether to study chemistry or history, and another wakes up knowing exactly which chapters they will cover. The second student is already disciplined simply by avoiding the mental drag of making a choice. The solution is to move the decision-making process to a time when your willpower is high, the night before. Dedicate 10 minutes each evening to planning the exact schedule for the next day. This planning should be detailed and specific. Write down specific time-blocked actions. From 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., edit Chapter 2 in the silent study room. From 6 p.m. to 6:45 p.m., strength training, focusing on legs at the gym near the office. This eliminates the friction of initiation. The cue for the new behavior is not an external trigger or a conscious decision, but the natural end of a routine you already perform without thinking. It turns a conscious effort into an unconscious flow. The most disciplined individuals are not those who work hardest, but those who have the most effective and seamless stacks running in the background of their lives. Step 6. Define and claim the freedom of control. Understand that discipline is not the curtailment of your desires, but the efficient allocation of your time and energy toward the things you genuinely value. When you are disciplined, you are choosing your long-term values over your short-term impulses. The true addiction to discipline comes when you recognize that by consciously giving up a few small, fleeting pleasures, like mindless scrolling or watching an extra hour of television, you gain a massive, tangible reward, the freedom of accomplishment. This feeling of control shifts your identity. You move from being someone who wishes they were disciplined to someone who is disciplined. Your language changes from "I should work out" to "I am a person who never misses a workout." This internal identity shift is the ultimate reward, far outlasting any external prize. You are free from the anxiety of unfulfilled potential. You are free from the regret of wasted time. You are free to pursue the goals that define your best self. This feeling of autonomous control, of knowing that your life is progressing exactly as you designed it, is intensely rewarding. It is this profound sense of self-trust and earned freedom that creates the sustaining, joyous addiction to discipline. It stops being about what you have to do and starts being about what you are now able to do. Discipline is not just a tool for achieving goals, it is the ultimate expression of respect for yourself and your future. Embrace the system, relish the small wins, and you will find that the pursuit of your best life is not a battle to be endured, but a game to be played and enjoyed.